In the heart of the Whispering Woods, where every leaf rustles with a secret, lived a rabbit named Tilly. Tilly had the biggest, most magnificent ears you could ever imagine. So big, she could hear a flower sigh as it bloomed. The gentle creak of a spiderweb, heavy with morning dew. And unfortunately, she could also hear the whispers of the other animals. "Look at Flappy Ears," the foxes would laugh. "She looks like a furry bat." The squirrels would chatter from high up in the trees. Tilly felt so ashamed of her incredible ears that she started tying them down with soft vines, muffling the world until she could barely hear her own heartbeat. The vibrant sounds of the forest faded into a dull, lonely hum. One afternoon, seeking a quiet place away from judging eyes, Tilly stumbled upon a hidden clearing. There, curled up beneath a dandelion clock, was the saddest little creature she had ever seen, a hedgehog as smooth as a river stone, without a single spine on his back. Who are you?" Tilly asked, her voice barely a whisper. The little creature uncurled, but didn't look up. "I'm Pip," he mumbled, "the hedgehog who can't protect himself." Tilly's heart, which had felt so heavy with her own sadness, suddenly felt a pang of empathy for another. She sat down beside him, her own magnificent ears drooping with the weight of the vines. "I'm Tilly," she said softly, "the rabbit who hears too much." Pip looked up, a flicker of curiosity in his eyes. "What do you hear now?" he asked. Slowly, carefully, Tilly untied the vines, her ears unfurled, standing tall and grand, like velvet sails catching the wind. She closed her eyes and truly listened. For the first time in a long time, a small smile touched her lips. "I hear," she began, her voice filled with wonder. "I hear the mole family giggling 3 hills away because their baby just found a shiny rock. I hear Mrs. Owl humming a lullaby to her eggs in the old oak tree. And I hear the very first drop of the evening rain, still far, far away over the blue mountains." Pip's eyes grew wide. He had never heard the forest like that. For him, the world was a silent, often frightening place. He saw the beauty, but Tilly could hear its soul. "I can help you, Pip," Tilly said, an idea blooming in her mind like the very flowers she could hear sighing. "And maybe you can help me too." And that was the beginning of the most beautiful friendship the Whispering Woods had ever known. A friendship built not in spite of what made them different, but because of it. Tilly, with her incredible hearing, became Pip's personal early warning system. She was his protector, his guardian listener. "Pip, Mr. Badger is coming from the north, snuffling for beetles. Let's head to the south meadow," she'd whisper. Or, "Shh, I hear fox paws, very soft, on the other side of the creek. Time to hide in the thick roots of the willow." With Tilly as his ears, Pip felt safe for the first time in his life. He could finally relax and enjoy the sunshine on his smooth back without constantly looking over his shoulder. In return, Pip became Tilly's guide. Having spent his life watching and hiding, he knew every secret corner of the woods. He knew the hidden trails, the softest moss beds, and the quietest clearings. "Follow me, Tilly," he would say with newfound confidence. "I know a path to the sweetest clover where no one ever goes." Or, "Let's rest here, under these giant ferns. It's a secret roof that even the rain can't find." With Pip as her guide, Tilly found places of peace, places where she could untie her ears and just be herself, away from the hurtful whispers and stares. Together, they were whole. The rabbit who heard too much and the hedgehog who saw too little protection found balance in each other. They showed each other that their greatest vulnerabilities could become their greatest strengths when shared with a friend. But the peace of the Whispering Woods was not to last forever. One day, a terrible danger descended upon their home. a pack of loud, aggressive dogs from a nearby farm broke free and charged into the woods, their barks echoing like thunder. Chaos erupted, the air filled with panic. Families were separated in the mad scramble for safety. For Tilly, the noise was overwhelming. Her sensitive ears were bombarded with the frantic heartbeat of a fawn, the terrified squeaks of field mice, the confused flutter of 1,000 birds all at once. It was a storm of sound, a tidal wave of fear. She started to shake, her ears drooping against her head. "There's too much. I can't listen. It's all just noise," she cried, covering her ears with her paws. But Pip, who had learned true courage from his friend, gently nuzzled her paw. "Tilly," he said, his voice calm and steady amidst the chaos. "Listen for me, just like you always do. Forget the barking. Listen for the smallest, quietest sound you can find." Tilly took a deep, shaky breath. She closed her eyes, blocking out the visual chaos, and focused. She pushed past the loud, terrifying barks, past the panicked cries, and listened deeper. And then she heard it. Through the cacophony, a tiny vital sound, the faint trembling whimpers of 3 lost fox kits. They were hidden in a hollow log, right in the path of the approaching dogs. "I hear them," she cried, her ears perking up with purpose. "This way, Pip." Without a moment's hesitation, Pip took the lead. "I know a tunnel right under that log," he shouted over the noise, with Pip navigating the secret, hidden pathways that only he knew, and Tilly guiding them with her precise hearing. They reached the fox kits just in time. They led the terrified little ones through the undergrowth, away from danger, and back to their frantic, searching mother. But their work wasn't done. Using their unique skills, they did it again for a family of mice trapped in an open field, and again for a confused old tortoise who couldn't move fast enough. Tilly would listen for the quietest calls for help, and Pip would find the safest, quickest route to get there. They were a perfect team. When the dogs were finally gone and a hush fell over the woods, the animals slowly emerged from their hiding places. They hadn't just seen chaos. They had seen the brave duo in action. They saw the rabbit with the majestic ears, not cowering, but listening to save others. And they saw the smooth hedgehog, not hiding, but leading with unwavering courage. From that day on, no one ever called her Flappy Ears again, and no one dared to call him Pip the Spineless. The animals of the woods had new names for them. They were the Listener and the Pathfinder, the gentle guardians of the whispering woods. Tilly never, ever tied her ears down again. They stood tall and proud, a symbol not of what made her strange, but of what made her a hero. They were the ears that heard not only the whispers of bullies, but the sound of hope and the path to safety. And Pip walked proudly beside her, his smooth back held high. He didn't need spines to be brave. He carried something much stronger, the trust and friendship of the kindest rabbit in the world. Together, they had proved to everyone, and most importantly, to themselves, that the thing that makes you different isn't what makes you weak. Sometimes it's the very thing that helps you find your best friend and become the hero you were always meant to be. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed Tilly and Pip's story, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more tales from the heart of the woods. See you next time.